My name is Isabella Quinn. I'm 29. And the day my grandfather's will was read felt like the moment my own parents tried to erase me from our family story. I sat at a long glossy table, hands pressed together so tightly my knuckles turned white, while my sister, Olivia, sat across from me in a designer dress, already carrying herself like the queen of the room. The lawyer cleared his throat and began reading what my parents referred to as the main portion of Grandpa's will. My mother leaned forward, syrupy sweet, and announced that Olivia would receive $15 million from the estate. My father slid a thick stack of documents toward her, and everyone around the table murmured, "Congratulations," as though it were some kind of fairy tale ending. Then he turned to me. No folder, no check, not even a symbolic token, just a dismissive shrug. "Your sister gets $15 million, he said. "As for you, Isabella, you can earn your own. Your grandfather didn't want you involved." I didn't argue, I didn't cry. I didn't give them the satisfaction. I just sat there, hands clenched, as my parents tried to rewrite the story of a man who had once been my biggest supporter. Then, the unexpected happened. Grandpa's attorney, Victor Hale, stood up and said there was a second, sealed document, a confidential addendum that had never been shown to my parents, meant to be read only when the whole family was present, and especially when I was there. I froze. My heart raced. Would I leave or stay to hear the truth that could unravel everything? Victor placed the envelope on the table like a bomb waiting to detonate. Calmly, he explained that my grandfather had left precise instructions. This document was confidential and contained the real division of his estate. My mother's face went pale. My father tried to laugh it off, saying Grandpa must have been confused, but Victor ignored him. Breaking the seal, he unfolded pages of my grandfather's meticulous handwriting. Every word cut through me. "To my granddaughter, Isabella Quinn," Victor read, "I leave full controlling interest in Summit Mind Analytics and all personal accounts connected to it, held separate from accounts with my son." Summit Mind wasn't just a side project. It was a growing AI tech company in Atlanta, helping small businesses with inventory, cash flow, and marketing decisions. Its value far exceeded the $15 million Olivia had received. My father's smirk vanished. He couldn't process it. Victor continued, detailing how my parents had kept me away, edited communications, and funneled money to Olivia through my grandfather's accounts. My mother shot up from her chair, screaming, "That's not true." My father tried a rational argument, but Victor remained calm. Grandpa had anticipated pushback and had left records and instructions to secure his wishes. I sat back, absorbing years of manipulation. Missed holidays, canceled calls, ignored visits, they all made sense now. And one question burned hotter than my humiliation. If this was just the beginning of what Grandpa had hidden, what else might he have protected that my parents couldn't touch? And just when I thought the shock couldn't get worse, Grandpa's attorney revealed the part that would make my parents wish they'd never tried to write me out. As Victor continued, I felt the room shrink around me. My parents, who had spent decades projecting control, were now fumbling in the wreckage of a story they had tried to rewrite. Olivia clutched the folder with her $15 million like it was a lifeline, her wide-eyed smile faltering as she realized this was far from over. Victor cleared his throat and read on. My grandfather, Elliot Quinn, had seen every message disappear, every visit canceled, every call redirected. He had noticed how my parents funneled funds to Olivia's lifestyle without his knowledge. Transfers from joint accounts went to pay for designer clothes, dance competitions, and luxurious trips while I, supposedly too busy with my career, was denied even small opportunities to learn from him. Every detail Victor revealed was like a piece of a puzzle I had realized I'd been holding in my head for years. The cancelled visits, the missed birthdays, the too tired and too busy excuses, it all fell into place. My chest ached, remembering the times I had driven down to Savannah only to be turned away. Told he was in a facility when he had been home the entire week. Victor looked at my parents and continued, his voice calm but firm. Elliot Quinn had been evaluated and deemed fully competent when he drafted this hidden document. My mother's hands shook, my father's face turned pale, and Olivia's mascara started running as the weight of evidence pressed down on them. Grandpa had recorded a video, time-stamped and accompanied by a physician's statement, explaining everything in his own words. I remembered sitting on the floor at our old Savannah kitchen table, surrounded by laptops and printouts, while Grandpa patiently explained data analysis and inventory management. He didn't care about appearances, he cared about results. I was 14 when he bought me that beat-up laptop and said, "It's not fancy, but it has stories to tell. And now, you'll write your own." My parents rolled their eyes every time, dismissing the lessons as pointless computer obsession, while Olivia's dance competitions received endless attention. Victor paused and looked directly at my parents. "Everything documented here is legally binding," he said. "And if challenged, the video, financial records, and the physician's notes will be submitted as evidence." My mother's lips trembled. She shot my father a desperate glance. He looked back at the papers, realizing for the first time that their control over Grandpa's estate had slipped through their fingers. I felt a strange calm settle over me. For years, I had been overlooked, dismissed, and erased, but now, I was the one holding the proof that my grandfather had believed in me, in my abilities, and in my potential. It wasn't just about money. It was about recognition, validation, and finally being seen. I leaned back slightly, eyes on Victor, thinking, if this was only the beginning of what Grandpa had hidden, what other surprises might he have prepared for them, things they couldn't spin or manipulate? And then Victor handed me a small black flash drive, the contents of which would turn the entire room upside down and force my parents to confront the truth like never before. Victor slid the small black flash drive across the table toward me. My parents froze, like they had been caught mid-performance and realized the audience was now judging them. Olivia's fingers hovered over her folder, unsure if she should open it or hide it, while my mother's face had drained of all color. My father's jaw tightened, the confident mask he always wore cracking for the first time. Victor spoke slowly. "This is a video recorded by Elliot Quinn himself, accompanied by a statement from his physician confirming his mental competence. Everything on this drive documents his intentions and the manipulation that has occurred." I took a deep breath, heart hammering. The room was silent, except for the low hum of the air conditioner. I plugged the drive into the laptop Victor had brought, turned the screen toward us, and pressed play. Instantly, my grandfather appeared, older and thinner than I remembered, but his eyes were sharp, full of clarity and purpose. "My name is Elliot Quinn," he said directly into the camera. "I am changing my will because I am aware of actions taken by my son and his wife that I do not approve of. Money has been withdrawn from my accounts without my permission. When I ask, I am told I am confused. I am not confused." He paused, letting the words sink in. "I love all my grandchildren," he continued, "but only one understands the way my mind works. Isabella listens. She sees systems, patterns, and potential that others dismiss. She built something useful without asking for recognition. She deserves what she has earned." I felt a chill run down my spine. All those years of ignored messages, canceled visits, and parental excuses now had context. Grandpa had noticed everything: the times I was kept away, the calls redirected, the careful curation of Olivia's image while mine was dismissed. He had been building a legacy in secret for me, knowing the rest of my family would never understand or value it. The video moved on, showing him explaining how Summit Mind Analytics was designed to help small businesses, hardware stores, bakeries, corner shops, manage inventory and cash flow. He emphasized, repeatedly, that these tools were meant to empower ordinary people, not just generate profit. My mother's mascara had streaked completely, and she gripped the table as though it could somehow pull the truth back into her control. My father's hand trembled over the folder he had once thought was his triumph. Olivia's lips parted, tears forming, a flicker of guilt and fear crossing her expression. I felt a strange sense of calm. This wasn't just vindication, it was validation. For years, I had been the unseen one, dismissed and erased. But my grandfather had always seen me. He had always believed. And now, finally, his belief was unshakable proof. And just when I thought the revelation couldn't get more powerful, Victor revealed financial records and emails that would completely expose my parents' mismanagement, change the balance of power forever. After the video ended, Victor leaned back slightly, letting the silence settle over the room. My parents' expressions were frozen, my mother's face streaked with mascara, my father's confident posture completely gone. Olivia sat there, holding her folder like it might vanish if she blinked too fast. And then Victor began revealing the financial records. He explained how Elliot Quinn had carefully tracked every transfer from his joint accounts. Money meant for Olivia's dance lessons, designer clothes, sponsored trips, and luxury items had been diverted without his consent. Every deposit, every withdrawal, every unexplained transfer was documented in spreadsheets, with timestamps and references to invoices and receipts. "You will notice," Victor said evenly, "that significant sums were moved right before trips, right before luxury purchases, and often right after Isabella attempted to visit or communicate. These transactions were made under the pretense of family expenses, but the evidence shows otherwise. My mother shrank back in her chair, muttering, "That's not true. He signed everything. We did it for the family." My father's jaw tightened, but he didn't have a rebuttal. The spreadsheets were too thorough, too precise. And Olivia, for the first time, looked uncertain. The confident grin she usually wore faltering as she realized her lifestyle had been partially built on deception. I felt a strange calm as I watched Victor go through emails, texts, and bank notifications. Every attempt my parents had made to edit, redirect, or control communications between me was now documented, impossible to deny. The pattern was undeniable. I had been systematically excluded, edited out, erased while Olivia had been elevated and rewarded. I remembered all the small moments, standing on the front porch holding a flyer for a summer coding camp, being told, "Maybe next year," while Olivia twirled in a new dance outfit. The countless times I tried to bring my ideas or projects to Grandpa, only to be met with delays or excuses. And now, for the first time, every detail was laid bare. Victor's voice broke the memory chain. "These records, along with the video and the physician's statement, are fully admissible in court. Any attempt to challenge the will or hide assets will be met with irrefutable evidence." The room felt heavier, the air thick with tension. For the first time, I realized this wasn't just about inheritance. It was about exposing the truth and reclaiming control over the narrative my parents had tried to dominate for so long. I sat up straighter, my mind racing. Grandpa had not only believed in me, but he had also ensured that the tools, resources, and legal safeguards were in place to protect me and to hold my parents accountable. But as the magnitude of the evidence sank in, Victor revealed one final set of documents, emails, and contracts that would not only validate Grandpa's intentions but also threaten to destroy everything my parents had built. After Victor revealed the final set of documents, emails, contracts, and receipts, my parents' facade finally crumbled. Every late-night luxury purchase, every redirected transfer, every blocked message I had sent to Grandpa was now laid bare. Olivia's confident posture melted into nervous shuffling. My mother gripped the table as if it could somehow hold back the truth. And my father's fingers drummed a frantic rhythm that meant nothing anymore. Victor spoke slowly, letting the gravity of the situation settle. "Isabella, these records, combined with the video and physician's statement, leave no room for misinterpretation. Your grandfather's intentions are clear. Summit Mind Analytics and all associated accounts are yours. Legally, fully, and irrevocably." I felt a strange sense of calm wash over me. Years of being ignored, dismissed, and minimized had led to this precise moment. Grandpa Elliot had not just left me an inheritance. He had left me proof that my worth was never determined by my parents' opinions. It was measured by belief, by vision, and by results. Victor turned his attention to my parents. "If there is any attempt to challenge the will, these documents will be submitted as evidence. The patterns of mismanagement, exclusion, and misuse of funds are undeniable. Any legal contest will not only fail but will expose the extent of these actions publicly." I watched as realization slowly dawned on them. My mother's tears were a mix of anger and disbelief. My father's lips pressed together as he finally understood that control had slipped through his fingers. And Olivia, who had been so sure she was the favored one, looked smaller, quieter, stripped of her usual certainty. I took a deep breath. For the first time, the weight of their judgment didn't matter. I was no longer auditioning for their approval. Instead, I was stepping into the role my grandfather had prepared me for all along. The one who could take Summit Mind Analytics and make it what he had envisioned. Victor handed me the final signed forms. "Once you sign these, Isabella, your financial life is fully separated. No shared accounts. No hidden access. You are in complete control." My hand shook for only a moment before I signed, feeling the invisible cords snap. We left the conference room that day, the air heavy with silence from my parents, while I felt lighter than I had in years. Grandpa's foresight had done more than secure my inheritance. He had exposed the truth, protected me from manipulation, and given me the freedom to create without interference. But with Summit Mind Analytics officially mine, I faced a new challenge, taking a fledgling secret project started on a beat-up laptop and turning it into a thriving company that could actually help the small businesses Grandpa had cared so much about. Thanks for watching the video. Subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon.